Hello again, my friends, and welcome back to another HP Gaming GameLINK video. I am trying to get through as many unboxings as I possibly can because Kickstarters are still arriving thick and fast, and today is no exception. We have a little something here today which has been out for a little while, but there's a new solo tower defense-y style of thing that I really want to get into, so I couldn't wait. We are going to be unboxing for you today a core of Skytear, but we're also going to be unboxing the brand new Skytear Horde as well. Hello folks, welcome back. For those of you who don't know me by now, and you should, my name is Matt, and as I said in the tease, I am super excited to open up a can of whoop-ass in terms of Skytear, and of course Skytear Horde, which is here. There is a ton of crazy stuff. There is an art book that came with it as well. There is a promo pack that we've got here. Little promo pack, and we've also got, I don't know, 500,000 million sleeves for all of the crazy content we've got here. Now, I did put a post up on the community section of our YouTube channel to say, or ask the question, what would you like? Would you prefer that we just do Skytear Horde, considering it's all the new stuff? Would you like to see what Skytear is like, all the rest of it? Skytear is, at its core, a MOBA game, but on tabletop. So think of League of Legends, all that sort of stuff. I will say, since Skytear has come out, there was another game that I unboxed and reviewed not too long ago, which I love because it's a deck builder. Not in the sense this is a deck builder, I'll differentiate what I mean. But Ascension Tactics is officially this sort of style of game as well. And I dug that. Skytear, I have not had a copy of Skytear. I've always wanted a copy of Skytear, and now with Skytear Horde, I've got a solo mode as well as a tower defense-y style of thing as well, which is fantastic. So, what we're going to do, because I asked, people responded, we're going to open Skytear first, go through that. We won't go through all the cards, we'll go through all the bits of bells and whistles, but then we're going to get into Skytear Horde. So if you look at the bottom of the video, you will find some timestamps, so you can jump ahead just to the new content if you would like to. So we'll hop that one over to the side for now, and then we'll get in here and show you what it's all about. Now, for those of you who haven't played Skytear, as I said, it's a MOBA-style tabletop version of League of Legends, Heroes of the Storm, etc., etc., etc. Draft your heroes. There's all sorts of different components. There's an online competition you can play for free on Tabletop Simulator. Craziness. I love it when a game gains not just traction but support from the publisher. Plastic on the floor. To effectively give it longevity long after the release. I think this has come out in 2019, if I'm not mistaken. 2 to 4 players in teams. 45 minutes per battle, which is also very awesome. There we go, Skytear. The art is sick. I love it. The art is amazing. You have different factions fighting against each other. The world is coming apart. And if you manage to control the center of what is called the dome, at the end of each your turn, you gain control of the overlord monster epic of craziness. And yes, there are minis in this box, which is fantastic. And the minis, I believe, are also compatible with Skytear Horde, which is out of the park, amazing, love it. Let's get into this so we can get into the new stuff as well. I'm going to put this one just over here because the artwork is amazing. The artwork in the rulebook is fantastic. It talks about different factions. You've got the Kurumo, the Talot, the Nupton, and the Leviathan, shapeshifters, etc. Welcome to Olan Taa, which is where it's all set up. You can watch a video if you want to know how to play. The board setup. Now this is, I should say, a starter box. There's even more products available on top of this, but Skytear Horde, obviously, I can see what's going to happen. I'm going to get into this again, and I'm going to go, why didn't I just go for it? Why didn't I just go all in and get all the other boxes as well? Oh well, whatever. Lesson learned. I dare say when Skytear Horde has its first expansion, you'll be able to order some more stuff as well. Hero phase, key game elements. I will say the rulebook for this is pretty sick in terms of its examples. You've got rules and then examples straight underneath, so you don't have to worry about finding where things go, all that sort of stuff, which is very, very cool. Spawning minions, etc. Or as I like to call them, cannon fodder, because that's literally how they are. Power cards, timing, how it works, drafting and deck building. Now, 3-lane battlefield, if you've got multiple players, pre-made deck lists are here, organized play formats, how that all sort of works, competitions, tiebreakers, expansions guide. So here you go, all the different expansions to the content that are available. And then of course Skytear Horde, because this is the new version which has all that listed. Ashen Pass, Embassy Ruins, Breach, and dual faction expansions as well. I dig it. I dig it. True to form as well, because we've started recording, the bin man has arrived to collect the bins. So, you know, go him. That's fantastic. It's really helpful. It is what it is. The board. Now, I will not be able to fit all this in because the board is massive, but I will do my best. As you know, because you're all fans of the channel, and we love that. Thank you so much for being supporters of our work. You will see a bit of a setup for... Maybe there'll be 2 setups. Maybe there'll be one for Skytear and there'll be one for Skytear Horde, because they are very different style of games. But you can see the board here. You got power tracks on the side. If I can lift that up here so you can see it on the overhead. Power track for different heroes. That's health, I should say, rather. You've got dome, different board styles, 3-lane board, 2-lane board, etc. And you move, spend your actions to move and attack and all the rest, which is pretty straightforward. The other side of the board is the standard classic side, and there is 1 lane here, 1 lane here, the dome itself, and all sorts of chaos, which is brilliant. I'm going to pop that up there out of the way. Then we have tokens, because what's a game without tokens in this amazing day and age? Now the tokens here, I think, double-sided. You have the Skytear coin token, you have the Overlord token. I can't remember if that's what it's called. Is it Overlord, Overboss? What is it? Box components, Ancient Outsider, that's what it's called. My apologies. So, faction hero icons, different faction icons. You've got breaking, disarming, condition tokens, and then you've got tower tokens, and you've got little extra counters as well. The tokens themselves are quite thick. I don't know if you can see it on the overhead. They're quite durable, which is bloody fantastic. And there are a ton of them. More hero tokens here, VP tokens, which is always nice. And then we get all of the good bits. Now, amazing again. Oh, it's all covered in plastic. Hopefully it's not sealed, because I hate that when it's taped up. Is it taped up? Or is it just really tight? No, it's not taped up. Brilliant work, and it's nice and snug, so it stays in the box. Nice and fantastic. All the baggies to store things. Excellent. I love that. Space for the cards. Let's have a look at the minis. Now, the minions themselves, you've got 2 different sides, obviously light and dark. And there's 2 sides for the minis, sides I guess, but in different sculpts. So you have, let's see, we've got these guys here, these dudes with their little shields and things. Now I think different faction symbols didn't move different things. I don't know if this is doing it justice or not. I hope so. But these guys are minions. They're the cannon fodder. Very easy to kill. But, you know, swarming in greater numbers could prove to be a problem for those that are facing up against them. Then we've got these little crocodile, werewolf-looking dudes here. The names of which elude me at the moment. They are mini-minis. They're only tiny, but I dig it. They're kind of cool. And then you have here what looks like constructs. Ready to hurl some boulders and stuff everywhere. That's kind of cool. I dig it. I need to get like a little Lazy Susan rotating platform so I can show you all the minis. And then here, these guys have got crazy hats and a big ass smashing stick. That guy means business. I dig it. I dig it, I dig it, I dig it. And we haven't even gotten to the main heroes yet. I am not going to remember all their names. I will preface that. Again, trying to get through this so I can get into the Horde stuff. But we'll see how we go. Some of these have been jostling for position. We've got wings, blade wings. Oh my goodness. They look sharp. It means business. I dig it. And then we have a traditional style epic dual-wielding hero with flowing robe. Now these poses are great. I dig it. So good, so good. Take table presents for days because, you know, I'm all about table presents. So having this set up on the table, even if they're unpainted, is still going to look great. My only concern is with all of the mini plastic grey, remembering who is going to be very difficult. So we may have to invest in some bases to try and, or at least base paint the bases so I know who is who. This is a crazy bear looking dude. Werebear maybe, I don't know. But he looks pretty powerful. Cracking fists and things. I've got a D&D character at the moment who is a blood hunter who can change. So maybe, I don't know, he's a bear. This guy's a bear, so I can't really use that miniature, but it looks great. You've got, now, this is some sort of magic wielder. I have a feeling they can transform into a bird-like creature. And they're not in some sort of crazy, I'm going to mess you up stance, which means it says to me, they are incredibly, incredibly powerful, and don't mess with them. Speaking of not messing with people, we have like an Incan ancient warrior dude with a crazy blade of death and destruction, mask shields, feathers, all sorts of stuff. Serious business with these guys. Then we have, this one looks like some sort of witch doctor or priestess or something. Doing all sorts of crazy. She's got the skulls, the shrunken heads, the daggers, all sorts. I really should have brought the overhead down so you can see the minis up close, but I hope I'm doing it justice. This one looks sick. Wow. Okay, so this one is some a badass babe wielding a scythe and some sort of crazy energy coming out of her. Look at this thing. I'm going to build a deck for this character. It's official. I mean, even the scythe has like effects and things on it as well. That's imposing as hell. She means business. And I will let her, you know, attack things and all the rest of it. I will encourage that. Then we've got a guy who is like roguish thieving. He's got shuriken ninja stars guarding a chest of treasure. Very much a rogue thieving so-and-so. And I dig that very much. That's very cool. Very, very cool indeed. And then it would be remiss of me not to go through and show you the outsider as well. This guy is huge. And the multiple arms thing, that's multiple, it's like a Demogorgon face. The fact that it's hollow down the middle is amazing. Check this out. That is an imposing presence right there. You can see it's hollow. You've got the 4 different hands. You've got the different jawline as well. The fact that it's on the different hex space is pretty outstanding. And you can command this. If you control the dome at the end of the round, you will be able to spend some points on this big bad boy and deal some amazing damage. And the goal of the game is to destroy your opponent's nexus. And if that was coming towards your nexus, you'd be pretty concerned, I would imagine, because, you know, why not? We have a couple of decks of cards here for different, hellfire the right way up, for different things, plus bonuses, combustion, time glitch, etc. These cards can be combined, obviously, and mixed around, and you can draft cards, etc. They have pull tabs on them to unlock the magic within, but we aren't time for that. We've got a knife to help get us in there and do all that crazy stuff. Yeah, Skytear has been doing great guns, obviously. And their Skytear Horde campaign was very, very successful. So we have all the different combustion cards for the different factions. They've got the standard Skytear backing. And then from here you have different factions as well, different points that costs you to bring those out into play. The artwork is great. Twister of Souls, Time Warp. So those are 3 decks. And then I think a little bit of Divider in there. That's not bad. I don't mind that. That's cool. I'm going to put them in there though, because I don't want them to roll around when I put the box upright. I will say too, and I'm assuming that spot's actually for tokens and whatnot, but go figure. Having the plastic insert lid before the boards and things go in is really quite clever, and it will help keep everything nice and stored. So more of the same yellow faction there, and then we have the green faction that we saw in the rulebook. All the cards. Yeah, there she is. A crazy. That's a sacrifice card to heal. Lord of the Many. Now, each faction has 2 heroes. You can just draft the 2 heroes, or you can mix and match, which I think is very cool as well. Then you have here Skytear Flux. Now these cards are, oh, that's a standard card. Oh, interesting. Remove Skytear Flux from the game. So it's a special card. You've got hero cards for all the different heroes. So you've got Yami, Psykosh the Rogue, Gulbujan, Koirov, Kolthik, Takali. And then you have Habarat, Akuthi. Where's the side lady? Yami. Flaming Harbinger. I'm going to make a deck with her. Reference cards, hero activations, different colors. And then these are special conditions that you can complete. And if you complete them, you gain the VP on the card, I believe. Or if you complete the objective, you can gain points to try and win you the game. But they are randomly drawn at the start. Left breach, destroy the enemy tower in your left lane. Right breach, siege, destroy, deal at least 1 damage to 2 different enemy towers. Tactician, win 6 controls of the board. Skytear Master, win 3 controls of the dome. Invasion, etc. And then, of course, the Ancient Outsider card for that mammoth beast. Wow, love it. All right, that is it. That's everything that's in the starter box, and what a lot of content it is. I think I'm glad the box isn't some massive, huge, ridiculous thing for a starter box. It's pretty straightforward. Did it need to be so deep? There's a lot of tokens in there. I think so. But obviously you need to have space to store everything before you punch everything out. Let's pop that one back in there because we do have some more business to get to. We will pop in these ones here. And as I said, if you want to see the overlay, let's do it differently. Let's mix it up a little bit. If you would like to see what Skytear looks like when it's set up on the table, ready to go for a 4-player battle royale / team game, because I think it's just teams and all the rest of it, we will show you what that looks like. There'll be some photos of it set up for 4 players. What I am going to do though is set up a 1v1 battle, so you can see what it looks like with the 2 lanes and the dome in the middle of that board set up on the table. We'll show you what it looks like. So sit back, relax for a few moments. We're going to roll that footage. And there it is. That is the setup of what it looks like when you set up Skytear at the table for a 1v1 battle. There's a couple of photos there for a 4-player game, team game as well, with the 3-lane board. Very exciting stuff, and I want to see how that goes. Obviously, get it to the table and cause some absolute chaos as well. But while this video is a bit Skytear related, there's something else we've got to discuss. So I'm going to put this one to the side, because we've got some new content that we've got to discuss, and we are talking about obviously Skytear Horde, which is absolutely amazing in all of its glory. So we'll put that to the side. we'll bring in the Skytear Horde along with the promo pack as well. There it is there. A very nondescript black box of awesome. Now this is very much a tower defense. I believe it's a multiplayer game as well, but I think the idea behind this is a solo Skytear mode, which you can use the minis from this box for. I'll bring that in a touch more. There we go. You know what? No, this is Horde's moment. This is Skytear Horde's moment. So let's be very careful how we do this, because I believe the box is a special deluxeified box. There will be a retail box that'll come out, obviously, potentially, maybe, in the not too distant future. But I will say the plastic had received a bit of damage and flashing and everything else, so we're going to get that off as quick as we can. Plastic on the floor. I have a mass of plastic on the floor. And pop this up on the overhead. Whoop. Now this is a magnetic box of awesome. I know a little bit about Skytear Horde. Obviously, I watched a couple of playthroughs and everything else when the Kickstarter was happening, but a lot going on. So let's open her up. Oh my goodness. Look at that art. Oh my goodness. Siege mode. This is literally a siege mode, and I dig it so much. Let's spin this around a bit. Rulebook. Solo and cooperative mode. There is a competitive mode as well. One player controls the Horde while the other two control the Alliance. Wow. I dig it. So a 1 to 3 player version of Skytear. I dig it. So you've got components. You've got tokens, lane markers, outsider cards, portal cards, all sorts of crazy stuff. And if you don't thwart all of the different folks as they come through the board, they will overrun your castle and you will lose. There is treachery, there is fight, there is alliance phases, competitive mode, customizing your decks, how to use all this in the MOBA game. And I think as well, you can, as a glossary of terms as well, cards and decks, what they mean, allies, monsters, etc. I dig it so much, and we haven't even gotten the guts of it yet. All right, many thanks to 3,923 supporters, one of whom was me. Tokens. So you get your lanes here, and cards obviously allow you to, they move down the lane. If they get to 0, they attack your castle and will destroy you. You will excuse the extra noise. I have a couple of minions of my own here. It is school holidays, and they are watching some incredible YouTube content based on Mario Party, other bits and pieces. Now, I think this is a Kickstarter Deluxeified version of this game because there's all these tokens here on punch-outs, which is fine. But in addition to that, we have Deluxeified versions of same. Now, the punch-outs are a nice, durable punch-out like we saw in the base game box, but these babies are... I love a good acrylic. They're so good. So these are Deluxeified shield and broken shield tokens. Oh, that sounds so good. I dig that so much. Well worth it. I love it. I love a Kickstarter Deluxeified edition. It's just so much better. Flag tokens. I'm not going to take all these out because we've got lots to get through. But he says he's not going to take them out. He does it anyway. Flags, different tokens, different levels, which is very cool. They could also act as reminder tokens depending on how far you are along in the tower defense process. Expansions, oh my gosh. Damage tokens, again, very cool. Health markers for +3 and -3 health tokens, they're pretty cool. And then you've got the actual health tokens themselves. We'll show you a couple of those. So the health tokens are obviously double-sided. They have a great little shine on them. +1, -1 effectively. That's so good. Oh, I dig them so much. They are so great. So great. And of course, as you can see, there is a playmat. There is little reservoirs here as well. The storage solution is amazing. I dig it so much. These are double-sided, these tokens as well. So plus, minus, etc. for your health, which is great. Cards for days, because you know it is a card game after all. Then we have this bad boy, which is a good reminder of where everything goes. You know what? We don't need plastic. I have said that I need to stop collecting playmats because I have too many. The Skyrim playmat was huge, and I have since used that for D&D campaigning as well. But this, having a place or showing you where to lay out everything and keeping it nice and neat within a play area, so you're not sprawled out all over a table, is pretty fantastic. So this looks like it's got a standard neoprene back, and you're not going to be able to see it all in the one shot there. You've got minions, you've got outsider piles, there is an alliance deck, alliance discard pile, there is alliance 2 deck, so I wonder if there's horde mode, horde decks, and then you've got the row itself going from 0 to 10. It's fantastic, and I love this, the fact that you've got these little spaces underneath for tokens and bits, so you don't actually have to put them on the card. One thing I find with card games that are text heavy, particularly for 1v1 battlers, etc., if you're using counters, 9 times out of 10 you've got to put it on the card, and you don't want to cover the art, you cover the box, and then you can't read the box. So being able to have a little area where you can place tokens and other bits and pieces, stroke of pure genius. I dig it. All right, let's roll this up very, very carefully, and then we'll get into some cards. The mini expansions, I'm excited for that too. There is a lot of content here. I wish I'd gone onto Skytear when it was on Kickstarter. I remember looking at the Kickstarter, and I think I backed, I don't know, 100 other projects or something over the last couple of months, and I couldn't justify the expense. But oh, I wish I had. Anyway, we'll talk about that another time. Let's put that there. We have cards. Let's go through the expansion later. I will try and identify all the cards and what they are. Obviously, they'll have things on them like allies, etc. Let's move that to the side, and then we'll go from there. I think I'm most excited about it because it is a solo game, and I have obviously got a bit more time on my hands this year. I'm looking forward. 2023 is the year where I get to finish off all of the solo campaign games I am yet to finish, including my friend here, Jaws of the Lion, which has been sitting there mocking me because we got to a certain point. It was amazing. I'm so excited. And then I just had to put it on the shelf because I just haven't had the time. I will say too that, plastic on the floor, with everything that's going on, with school going back in a couple of weeks' time, and Blair moving into her next year of kindergarten, she's at school a few extra days a week, so I'm excited to be able to make more content on the regular. I'm hoping to increase our output from 1 video a week to 2 videos per week. You're very welcome. Plastic on the floor. There is a pile of stuff here from this. I love it. I apologise too if I go too fast. I've got a lot going on over the last few weeks of January. My other work as a photographer, we are ramping up as well with all that. It's the first full wedding season we've had in 3 years because of our friend COVID. So very, very busy. Lots going on. Lots trying to keep up with. So if I go too fast, bear in mind we are shooting high def. You can pause the video so you can see what's going on. Let's have a look at, what have we got here? These look like they're the generic backs of the cards, which is very cool. Horde symbol, which could be alliance cards. Yes. So these are part of the alliance deck. You'll use these to defend the realm. You can see on the backs of the cards in the corners, you've got the symbols of all the different heroes and factions that are in the base game. Then you have things like Canopy Huntress, which is an ally, and there's a couple of copies of that there for deck building. A Clearing Dryad, and I'm assuming there's going to be starting decks that you can build with as well. Underwood Dryad. I'm assuming this is cost. That is attack versus damage. Multiform. A Stalker Pack. That could be quite helpful. Sacrifice. Now we saw that card in the base game, so it's interesting that some of the cards carry over just to keep the theme in check. Death Grasp. Bush Dryads. Tribal Warriors. Again, I'm sorry if I'm going too fast. There's lots going on here. Sacrifice. Scarifier. Behemoth. 25! Oh my gosh. Draining Pillar. Stone Pillar. There's a Tower. Ritual Pillar. So again, the tower elements come back into play as well, which could very well be. It is a tower defense game after all. Guard Pillar. Kotlik. Tikali. Flesh Hunter. The Living Jungle. A Sinkhole. Twist Your Allegiance. And then we get into Crane Shadows, Shadowling. This will be the deck of my scythe-wielding crazy lady. Bushido of the Rose, an ally. Bushido of the Sakura. Scepter of Kamnu. Lightning Naginata. Attached ally gains +2 to attack. Yes, please. And it costs you 1 to play. That's not a lot. Koi Shadows. Mage Crafters, Cicada Shadows. There's a lot of deception going on here. Thunder Cavalry. Wow. And they've got a Bushido keyword, Bushido Officer. So maybe there's an ally thing. If you have other Bushidos there, they get extra bonuses. I don't know. Bushido of the Peony. A Steam Tower. Dragon Punch. Spell. There she is, Yami. Heroic ally, Bushido. For the remainder of the turn, an ally gains elusive 1 fight, pay 1 mana. Yami and her neighbours gain +1 armor for the remainder of the turn. She's a badass bitch. The Landshaker. Star Piercer. Now, I'm going to try and maintain these. So I think they have different backs? No. Katana, Combustion, and then we move into our next faction deck of cards. Clan of the Oak, Cloud Terrors, Shamans, Clan of the Wildcat, Bloodlust, yep, sure. Makes sense. Skytear Mine, add 2 mana. Interesting. Clan of the Falcon. The art is fantastic. Graphic design and UI user interface is actually really good as well. I like it. The layout's nice. It looks very cool. It is reminiscent of the artwork that you find on the Hearthstone cards, which is the online game as well. I kind of dig that. Clan of the Elk. Dawn Defenders. Clan of the Boar. Frostbite Outpost. Speak with Spirits. Stream of Life, Korjov, Gulbjan, that's that bear guy, Wind Riders, Tuscan Warriors, a Runic Catapult, Overwhelm, and then we move into our final faction, and then we get into the enemies. The Leviathan's Temple, Living Rampart. Oh, these are all different castles, Yami's castle, so these are all castles that are specific to the heroes that you play as. That's cool. I'm missing a faction. Where are the yellow cards? And these are minions. Yes. So you set these up and they have rotation points as well, which denote how powerful they become. You've got different minions, monsters. They have different backs on them. Setting up different towers and things as well. Again, the artwork is sick. Each minion gains +1 health, hence why there's so many tokens. Wallbreaker, Venom, Storm Tower, Revenant Cavalry, Revenant Marksman, Revenant Archers, Undead. Gosh, nasty business. And then we have our friends here. I'm just going to check the backs. So these are all got different cards on them, but there's no yellow faction. I'm surprised about that. Unless that's what this is all about. We'll talk about that in a minute. Alright, so we have Snipers. And these are all Shade Hounds. These are all enemy cards. Shade Coven. The Oni Horde. Oni Champion. Shade Hunter. Suppression Fire. Betrayed. So maybe those earlier cards are sets that you put into play. You shuffle them all together and that's how it works. Shade Havoc's Fallen Kami. Troll Crusher. Troll Brute. Forest Yeti, Gathering Storm, that doesn't sound good. And they have 1s and 2s on them, so I'm assuming if you get into the second stage with drawing monsters with a second set, you're getting towards the end game and bad stuff's going to come and get you. Stormcaller, Deep Stalker, Deep Howlers, Frost Giants, Troll Trackers, there's a lot of nasty stuff. Snowblind, Cave Yetis, Lady of the Lake. That is not the Lady of the Lake I remember. Epic Monster, Renegade, The Great White, Lone Killer. That's very Jurassic Park, but I dig it. Young Carnivores, Winged Talons, Eldritch Scream, getting some Lovecraftian stuff going on. That's cool. A Stone Titan, Hell Carnivore, Underworld Runners, Hypnotic Gaze, nasty. Deadly Stings, Hardened Skin, Jurassic Park dinosaurs, crazy. Spined Beast, The Crawling Storm, The Old Forgotten, Onikai Minions, Yentar Minions, Ratamil Minions, Zephyrite Minions, Skeleton Token. Now these I think are just generic skeleton tokens that you use for different minions. The Death Dealer, Epic Monster Outsider, has to be an outsider, it's a Skytear game. The Hatebringer, the Beast Lords. So maybe these are the final bosses that you fight. And then you've got your helper cards. So you've got turn phases, refresh, horde phase, alliance phase. Oh, so they get their turn first. Right. So you've got here turn phases, horde actions. So you refresh for the new round, then the horde goes first. Then you've got to deal with whatever comes out. That's because usually in these games the horde goes second. Yeah, they're coming for you. I dig it. I dig it, I dig it, I dig it. All right, lots of cards there. Now, remember I said we had blue, green, red factions, but no yellow faction. I'm pretty sure this Nupton and Yushesh expansion brings those guys to the fore along with the extra deck of cards. Which begs the question that the retail version of this isn't going to include them, which is strange. Deck building rules for the Executioner's Den at Nasserat's Castle. Cloudgate, which is the other castle that it's in play there. And I think on the back you've got the other components as well. So there's more minions here as well, which is fabulous. So we'll pop those to the side. And then we'll have a look at the other deck. So that's the expansion card, which is just going to probably be rubbish. Restless Phalanx. Then you have Echoed Saboteur. Psychic Shield. That looks cool. Shadow of Death. A monster in the lane gains -2 attack for the remainder of the turn, then draw a card. Barring the Way. Strike Terror. Oh. Duelist Rogue. Echoed Dervish. Outrider Phalanx. Storm Phalanx. Overflow. Discovery in the Depths. Draw 2 cards, rebuild 2, shuffle your deck. Rebuild 2 so you can heal your towers. That's awesome. Mind Control. I'm assuming that's what rebuild is. Farsight Tower. Akukti. Habarat. Mentalist Disciple. Shield Mentalist. Summoner Mentalist. Circle of Mentalists. And then you've got Akimo, Vorchild, Iskatox, and Shadris. So those cards are from represent heroes from the expansions to the Skytear game, which is very, very cool. Giving them some love. Then we have the monsters that we saw in the other one. You've got the Flame Harpy, the Venom Harpy, Lightning, Iron Harpy, Quicksilver Golem, Graphite Golem, sensing a theme here, Chromium Golem, Battle of the Elements, Jungle Chimera, Mountain Chimera, Sand Chimera, a Juggernaut, a Chimera Queen, because of course there is, Master of the Air, Onkai Legion, a Secret Passage, that's not good, Raise the Dead, Uteshi Swarm, the Dreaming Matriarch. That's another outsider. The Ancient Outsider, we know this guy all too well. Deals 3 damage to the castle when fighting, armor 1. Silent Ambassador. And then you have the 2 castles as well. Wow. Wow. I know it's a card game. I'm going to represent minis and stuff as well because we can. But I just love the idea of setting yourself up. And I'm probably going to get my ass handed to me many, many times with this one because it's a learning process. Once you learn the equation, I should say, and how it works, there is still that random element of what cards you have in your hand versus what's going to come out of the decks against you. So even though learning the game is going to be a skill, there is a lot more to get through than at first glance, and I dig that. We do still have a few more bits and pieces. We have the other promo pack, which I'm assuming is going to be other heroes and things as well. We'll have a quick look at those. More plastic for the floor. The promo pack has just a standard backing card. And then we have Korjov, Gulbjan, Sakoshi, Yami, my favorite, Tikali, Kolthik, Ahuti, Haburat. And then you've got the Zoltan Horde, the Girith Horde, the Kano Horde. Oh, these are dividers. Uteshi, Zephyr minions, Ratmiller minions, Yetnar minions, Onkar minions. I could be wrong. I'm assuming that's what they are. That's the promo pack, which it looks like they're dividers. I could be wrong. I do like the idea of that though. That's very cool. So you can separate them all into different components within the trays, which is bloody fantastic. Dig it, dig it, dig it, dig it. All right, we do have one other small thing to look through, and other than the mountains of sleeves that we have the art and lore of Skytear Horde. So I'm going to give this a quick flick through for you, and this is literally a bit of lore about the Horde game itself, what's happening. And obviously it's still the same theme and same IP as Skytear itself. So it's probably going to be a bit of an explanation as to what's going on in this tower defense version of the game. All right, I'm going to pop that on the floor. More plastic. I've got a little mountain of plastic here. Let's bring this in. What I'm going to do is, I don't want to make it really, really difficult to sort everything out. I think I'm going to have to. Let's see how we go. I need a little divider block. I'll have to grab some. I don't know. I'm going to make it worse, I think, for myself, but that's okay. I'll work that all out as we go. Oh dear. I think I've already made a mistake when I put things away, but that's all right. Turn order. Get that sorted. Let's bring this up and over. There we go. Lore of Skytear Horde. Artwork is great. It's the same as what you saw on the inside of the box. And then you have a bit of an explanation about what's going on. Contents page, different alliances, etc. The Horde and the story behind it, the alliance. This is awesome. The Death Dealer. Oh, come on, that's cool. You've got Undead Horde, the Unakai, which we saw on the cards as well. So this is, yeah, the Undead Horde. I'm assuming there's multiple hordes. Shades, Oni. The K-Knight Alliance. That's amazing. The art is fantastic. The Bushido Yami and the Scythe Sanctuary. Sakoshi, the Windburner. Looks like he's about to cause a bit of trouble. The Hate. Look at this bloke. Oh, he's a badass. I love it. The Renegades. We saw her before yet now. Trolls. That'll be about right. This is so good. Yetis, Knights. Oh, it's beautiful. I love it. The Grialthan Alliance, Shapeshifters, Royal Guard, Korjoff and the Frostbite Stronghold. Gulbjan, the Gaping Maw, the Beast Lord. Oh my goodness. The Predator Horde, Ratamil, the Colossus. Speaking of meaning business. Talons, Carnivores. And then you have the Zatlanian Alliance, Tribesmen, Dryads, Nasty Business. Telkali, the Living Rampart. We saw Telkali before. She's in the base game as well. Cultic. The Leviathan's Temple. The Dreaming Matriarch. We saw the card about them earlier as well. The Nightmare Horde. So I'm assuming there's a Nightmare difficulty. The Zephyrite. The Chimeras, which are just insane. Harpies and Golems. The Nuptian Alliance. Phalanx, Rogues. Mystical Doctor Strange stuff going on here. Akuti and the Cloud Gate. Haburad and the Executioner's Den. Oh my goodness, there is so much going on. Akimo, Blade of the Ever King. Axitosk, the Abyssal Messenger. Now these are the additional heroes that we looked at. The art is, look at these things, they're amazing. Credits, how it all works, etc. And on the back cover you have Skytear Games, more of the same artwork and everything else as well. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, take a breath. A lot to take in. All right. Now, if you jumped ahead just to the Skytear stuff, Skytear Horde stuff, I should say, and you missed the Skytear stuff, go back and check it out because some of the bits and pieces there are slightly rejigged for Skytear Horde. I would imagine only just, but I think, I don't know which I'm going to play more. Skytear requires an opponent that one understands how to play, but Skytear Horde you can play solo or cooperative, so I think this might hit the table more than the Skytear base game, but time will tell. Now, as we've done earlier, we will show you what Skytear looks like when it's set up for one player. It'll give you a bit of an overview of how it sort of looks and everything else. We've got the playmat to set everything up on as well, which is fantastic. So without further ado, ladies and gents, please feast your eyes on Skytear Horde. Roll that footage. It's a card game. It's no biggie. But I am so excited to get into this thing and see how it plays for real life. It's one thing to watch playthroughs, but to get your hands dirty, get in there and actually give it a good crack. Totally different experience, and I am chomping at the bit to get into it. I will let you know how I fare. For those of you that have been watching the channel for a while and you have been following along in our community pages as well, have you played Skytear or Skytear Horde? What are your thoughts on this one? Is it something that you can see surviving for quite some time? It's a line of products now. There's heaps of different content available. Is Skytear Horde going to go down the same path and get expansions, obviously other than the one we've unboxed today? What do you think? I'd love to know your thoughts on this one. Do you have a favourite faction? Do you have a favourite hero that you'd like to play with? I've already established that I'm going to be taking Yumi, our scythe-wielding maniac, out for a spin. But is there anyone else that you can recommend or suggest? I would love to know your thoughts. Pop them in the comments below. As always, folks, plenty more content to come for 2023. We are very excited to see how far we can take this thing. If you have comments on what you'd like to see or suggestions on what you think we should check a look out for or unbox or even perhaps review or even do a playthrough, let us know in the comments below. We would love to hear from you. As always, it would be remiss of me not to thank our Patreon subscribers for allowing us to do all the crazy stuff that we do here on the channel. So thank you very much, sweethearts. We love you so much. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. We will see you back here soon in the not too distant future. Until then, before we finish up, can you just go down into the corner, click that subscribe button so you can stay in touch with us whenever we post any new amazing content we know you'll be keen for. Until then, my friends, please be kind, look after one another, and we'll see you back here at the table very, very soon. Until then, bye for now.